This is Book 2, Chapter 5, Part 3. The strange way he felt and everyone felt about him made the deep sorrow of the family a bit easier to bear, for they began not to recognize him either, and instead saw him as the smiling old man with nothing to smile about, and he became fixed in everyone's mind that way. So it was easy to understand and leave the complexities of the past behind. Which was better for the kids, for no one could explain it to them, and no one had to. They could see for themselves he was no longer here. The older kids already had their own lives to worry and dream about, and their siblings to support, and falling in and out of little loves began to water their little spirits once choked of all life. That moment in the past when their mom and Mays left, and all that preceded it, became something separate and done. They could now watch with vague disinterest as other youth in the city threw rocks at the smiling man's tore-up feet, which had worn through tore-up boots long after he left the home and walked the streets and lived in alleyways, to make him dance. It was all a silly game stolen from a spaghetti western, and he smiled through it because he knew there would be a bottle for him on the other side if he was lucky. Only the eldest daughter would bandage and care for her father's bloody feet. She brought him cerveza and rice and beans, and he smiled no different by her kindness than any other treatment. She simply cared for him as blood for blood. She often turned her head to the sky, wondering for a glimpse into the life of her brother, son of the old and leather-skinned former scoundrel, son of the smiling man who had no reason to smile, who got a taste and could not resist. He learned how to approach the hunted Mays up close and personal, in your face, and take them, watch them go pale and then lock in as it surfaced, the tangy energetic. See how we take what we want. From West Hollywood to San Fernando Valley, Los Angeles had lost souls wouldn't make any headlines, and he hunted them often. Mays kept quiet about the human blood in him. He was ashamed of it. He became remorseless in the taking. He hated his father and would, if he could, disavow his human blood. Rather than show compassion towards humans, he was inclined to kill the ones he took, for only by killing could he imagine that part of him dying too. I could love him for having spent the greater part of his life trying not to be the easy, terrible asshole he might naturally have become had he not a heart for integrity and decency, instilled by his mother he left in L.A. By what I saw, the line of human scoundrels had been broken. He stayed young in his heart. He was good to his mom and good to me. Of course, he hunted like a fiend. This he could not change, and he could not always be helpful, decent, or loving. But when darkness came over him, he would keep to himself and go to a place far away where he could not hurt anyone. And in that inherited pain there, his chosen way out was to take a knife to his skin, decide on a location, and cut into himself. I would find him lying in his dried blood, lost in sleep, and wash and bandage him, saying nothing of it when he awoke. Everyone has their own personal vortex, and some fall deeper than others.